value in Edmonton.
The service, from tournaments to special events to the pro shop. Superior service that makes every visit exceptional.
The Ranch Golf and Country Club, a laid-back environment where anyone can enjoy an amazing day on the fairways. For details, visit theranchgolf.com.
I always get the best plants for my garden, but come summer, it never has that perfect flow.
Want your garden to have a polished look? Then you need the Wallished look. Wallish Greenhouses doesn't just have the best plants. They also offer landscape design. Find out what goes great together and what placement will help your plants pop. Starting May 1st, swing by Wallish Greenhouses for everything you need to grow and sign up for a design consultation at wallishgreenhouses.ca.
Are you tired of lunch bag letdowns?
Yeah.
Do you want something made fresh?
Yeah.
Do you have $5.99?
Yeah.
If you answered yeah, it's time to get Subway 6-inch Italian BMT with freshly sliced deli meat or sweet onion chicken teriyaki with Canadian farm-raised chicken for just $5.99. Stick that in your mouth and eat it. Yeah. 2 freshly made 6-inch subs, only $5.99. Subway makes it fresh like that. Freshly prepared per order at participating restaurants. Extras, taxes, and delivery additional.
Yeah!
Visit SkySignatureSuites.com and make your home high above the ordinary.
At Sobeys and Safeway Liquor, they recommend pairing locally distilled spirits and their ice-cold beer selection with... And Oilers win! Sobeys and Safeway Liquor, proud partners and fans of the Edmonton Oilers. Please enjoy responsibly.
All games, all season. You're listening to the Oilers Radio Network.
This is game 1 of the West Final, live from Dallas, Texas. Stars fans still energized. However, Edmonton has taken a 1-0 lead. The Oilers, when they get a Game 1 victory in a best-of-7 series, they win the series 24 out of 27. And
that's pretty good.
That was backed up last year in the West Final when the Oilers won Game 1 in this building.
That's 88%, Jack.
Here's Draisaitl. Look at you showing off the math skills.
Well, 8 out of 9 is, 88.8? So I like my chances.
Well, you were in university for about 8 years,
yes.
So it figures you'd learn something. Here's Kulak down low. Back down and played out to Bouchard in the high slot. Draisaitl looking for Podkolzin, snuck past Corey Perry, and now Sam Steele, who had a glorious chance early in this game, kicked it back to Asa Lindell. Then Rantanen hit the post, and when the Oilers went low to high, Draisaitl was able to cash in. Turnover by Stuart Skinner handling the puck, and Sam Steele tried to thread one through and could not get it to Mason Marchment, and now we've got Marchment jawing a little bit with Leon Draisaitl, and that's not necessarily Stuart Skinner's strength, handling the puck.
But again, they love to fly that man high, right? The Oilers have to be aware that they're looking to chip pucks and catch forwards, move it up the ice. Remember the goal Dadonov scored here last year in game number 1. Edmonton got caught. Right, it's a long stretch or a deflection to a stretch, and the forward skates in it. Something Edmonton's got to be aware of.
Hintz digging in for the faceoff. Dadonov is another of those Dallas 20-goal forwards that needs to get going. He's only got one in the postseason at his 5th 20-goal season this year. Here's Frederick. The Oilers attacking. A shot by Klingberg from the right circle is swallowed up. Good defensive play by Granlund, but then he gave it away. Frederick forced it off his stick. Here's a shot by Jake Wallman, and that was tipped over the plexi and out of play with 8.5 to go in the first period. Again, Leon Draisaitl, with his 6th of the playoffs, has made it 1-0 Edmonton.
I think Kapanen's got to shoot. Said he passed off, and definitely on the 2-on-1. Connor Brown, they were giving him the shot all day, and he forced the pass across the Janmark, and that was a short-handed one. Don't forget Edmonton last year in the playoffs. Dallas went 0 for 14 on the power play, but Edmonton scored short-handed in that series. They actually outscored Dallas. Dallas outscored Edmonton 14-12 at even strength in the series.
But 5-0 on special teams for Edmonton. 4 power play goals and the short-handed goal. McDavid kicked it back to Kulak across to Bouchard. Dallas has been outscored in every period this postseason, and Hyman just ripped one off the goalpost. What a feed from McDavid, and it's Hyman's turn to draw iron. He had Ottinger beaten cleanly. Mikko Rantanen charging up the right-hand side. Quick release from Hyman. who's back on the puck and has it swatted away by Heiskanen. And Hyman has had a history of success in game ones. He's got 11 goals in 10 career series openers. Or at least his last 10, I should say. Played by Nugent-Hopkins. Back inside his own blue line to Kulak, and then Nugent-Hopkins threw it across to Bouchard. He'll shoot it in from center. Henrique couldn't get there. Dadonov will. Left wing for Jamie Benn. Here comes the Dallas captain. A shot and a glove save made by Stuart Skinner with 7.5 to go in the first period. Poised as can be, Stuart Skinner in net for Edmonton. Came in off the back-to-back bagels of Vegas, and of course outplayed Jake Ottinger last year. Bob, his save percentage in the series, .922, a solid 0.2 better than Jake Ottinger, the more heralded goalie.
They had Ottinger beat high. Did Zach Hyman, who by the way has 33 goals for the Oilers in 4 years in the playoffs. That is more than any of the Maple Leafs core four have in their playoff career.
One-timer ripped by Heiskanen, a blocker save made by Skinner. Bob, Toronto's been eliminated. No need to rub salt.
I'm not wrong. I'm just saying that's how good Hyman's been for Edmonton. He's got 33 goals in the playoffs in the last 4 playoff seasons. That's pretty good.
Are you trying to say you're not trying to rub salt? Are you actually going to say that with a straight face?
It would be beneath me to do that.
Here's Oscar Beck lining up for an offensive zone faceoff. He'll do so against Adam Henrique.
I feel bad for the fans in Toronto.
Oilers lead the Stars 1-0.
But we're focused on this one. I'm just saying Hyman's been a pretty good free agent signing for Edmonton.
Beck thrown out of the circle, replaced by Jamie Benn, who won the draw. Back, Dadonov, a shot that sailed high. Rebound off the Dashers, held in by Heiskanen, right point. Back down low, beyond the reach of Benn. Oilers in a fierce puck battle on the half wall. Connor Brown could not get it out. Held in by Benn and slapped along by Beck. Darnell Nurse borrowing inside, trying to clear past Heiskanen, who succeeds in holding the zone for Benn. Up top, Harley, a shot, and that was elevated up and out of play. I believe Brown got the shot block with 6:58 to go in this first period. The Oilers lead it 1-0 on an even strength goal by Leon Draisaitl.
Well, Benn's a very good face-off man. He was in the regular season. He was over 55%. He's only at 44% right now. The Stars, 7th in the league at 50.8.
He's always been tough on the Oilers, right. Jamie Benn.
And the Oilers are 9th at 50.4. And I thought last year Dallas had a face-off advantage against Edmonton coming into the series. So it's something to watch here for.
Benn led the Stars with 7 points in last year's 6-game series. And over the course of his career, he's got 26 goals in 52 games against Edmonton. Heiskanen off the draw, able to keep it down low for Matt Duchene, who does not have a goal yet in the Stanley Cup playoffs. A clear up the right-hand side by Klingberg, back to the Dallas line. Heiskanen charges back to the red, misfires on a pass intended for Wyatt Johnston, who has just been a brilliant addition to this Dallas lineup. Leon Draisaitl driving in left wing. That shot forced wide by Ottinger. Rebound played back to Evan Bouchard. Tried to shovel it down low. Johnston choked that off and forced it back to center. Kapanen waiting for it for Edmonton, and the Oilers on a regroup in their own end. Kulak building speed up through center. He'll shovel it in from the red line. Taking a peek behind him, Lindell. Got run off the puck by Podkolzin. Sam Steele for the Stars could not get it through Kasperi Kapanen. The official got in the mix, and finally it squirted free for Harley. The outlet to Mason Marchment. Another of those 20-goal scorers that has just one in the postseason. Steele will dump it in behind Bouchard. Kulak comes over to play the puck up to Nugent-Hopkins, and it exits the zone. Coming up on 5.5 minutes left, and with McDavid pressuring, that puck sails all the way toward Ottinger, and he elects to freeze it with 5:37 to go. They're not going to take a break here because that puck was initially released from beyond the red line. So when the goaltender freezes the puck, you got to deal with a D-zone draw.
Seguin to take a face-off here. He's a righty. He's at 51.6% in the face-off circle.
Seguin Won a cup in his rookie year with the Boston Bruins. Has been chasing it ever since. Kind of Dallas's equivalent of Corey Perry, who won it early in his career back in 2007. Here's McDavid, jitterbugging, wrapping it around, and a save made by Ottinger. Rebound, Stetcher threw it across to Darnell Nurse. Left point shot, kicked. Loose, available, grabbed by the Oilers, out to Stetcher, and across to Nurse, who took the initial shot. Ottinger was fortunate that neither McDavid nor Hyman could shovel that home. Here's McDavid dishing one-timer, and Stetcher didn't get all he wanted on that shot. A save made by Ottinger. Up top, Nurse on his backhand. Cuts to his right, then dishes back to his left. Stetcher fires and a save made. Ottinger didn't have a stick. Finally recovers it. It was laying across the goal. And an icing call will be whistled against Dallas, so the Stars are going to have to bring back that tired unit who had been out there and pinned in their own end by a determined effort from Edmonton. And perhaps sensing an opportunity here, Chris Knobloch is going to get Draisaitl, Kane, and Perry out.
Yeah, there's been a little bit of movement already at the lines here.
Well, and we've seen that with Chris Knobloch.
Yes.
And regardless of score, I mean, obviously Edmonton's off to a decent start in this game, having outshot Dallas 12-8. And Draisaitl scoring the series' first goal. He wins the faceoff back to Wallman. The pressure ratcheted up, but Draisaitl was stripped. And it's a breakaway for Tyler Seguin. Right to left. Shoots and scores. Tie game.
How's that not a hook? That's one where the officials decide not to make a call, and it ends up in Dallas getting a breakaway. Leon Draisaitl gets hooked under control with the puck, and Seguin gets a free breakaway out of it as the Oilers are working a cycle. Sorry, and maybe it's a call that doesn't get made in the playoffs, but Leon had the puck. Now, tough non-call. The Oilers didn't protest it too much. Seguin capitalizes, tie game.
Sagan's third of the postseason, unassisted at 15-22. Beating Skinner underneath the glove. Dallas dumps it in. Game one is tied at 1. And this crowd right back in the game. A centering pass picked off in front of the Edmonton net by Jake Wallman. Corralled by Klingberg. Chipped up the right-hand side, and now you've got a chance. Henrique trying to center. That was stolen away and cleared back up ice by Rope Hintz, and an icing call will be whistled against Dallas. There won't be a break here. This is an icing call, I believe. Or did that puck hop out of play?
It popped out of play.
Yeah, it hopped out of play, so it nicked the glass and sailed out of play. So the Oilers turn it over, and Seguin capitalizes on a breakaway. Game 1 of the West Final, tied at 1. Draisaitl for Edmonton, Seguin for Dallas. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey and the Stanley Cup Playoffs. The Oilers Radio Network.
Rogers is Canada's largest and most reliable 5G network. We're made for Oilers fans. You can stream Leon scoring in Leduc. Watch Tide tie things up in Tofield. Or check out Connor doing Connor things in Kalmar. And even watch Stewart steal the show while you're in Sedalia. Try saying that 3 times fast. Rogers, proud partner and fan of your Edmonton Oilers.
If you've got educational goals, Portage College is ready to provide the assist. Portage College has over 30 programs, with some offered through blended delivery or entirely online. At Portage College, certificates, diplomas, apprenticeships, degree pathways, and micro-credentials are all within your reach. And just like any good team, it feels more like a family. With their small class sizes, you'll feel right at home in no time. To learn more about Portage College, visit portagecollege.ca. Portage College. It's about you.
The Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation 50-50, presented by Rogers, is back and bigger than ever. The largest 50-50 in sports offers early bird draws, bonus raffles, and a main jackpot, which is growing by the second. With over $100 million invested across oil country, your support directly helps kids, families, and communities in need. Maybe you'll be our next winner. Get your tickets right now at EdmontonOilers.com and help make oil country a better place.
AGLC license number 696879.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app.
This is the Oilers Radio Network.
So we've got a 1-1 tie in Game 1 of the West Final. Tyler Seguin just having tied it off a turnover. Edmonton with pressure. Hyman had hit a goal post. And Tyler Seguin capitalizes on a breakaway after Draisaitl fell. And he scores.
Upon further review, Jack, that's not a penalty. There was a little bit of a touch, but Klingberg got caught a little bit inside in support there. Henrique's broken a stick here.
Boy, you've mellowed.
Yeah, well, I can't. I'm not. Like, my initial reaction is when he loses control of the puck like that, you think there's a reach in. It was a marginal stick, and the Oilers didn't protest at all. Marchment was giving it to Draisaitl after the turnover on the goal, but I don't think that's a penalty upon further review.
And certainly chirping another player is not a penalty.
No.
Here's a shot by Kane, sharp angle, and a save made by Ottinger.
It's gamesmanship.
Chipped out to Rope Hintz, clearing back to center and fired back in by Darnell Nurse. 4 minutes to go first period. We are tied at 1. Draisaitl opened the scoring and Seguin tied it. Here's Mikko Rantanen, like Hyman, hit a goal post earlier in this first period. Granlund freed the puck up along the end boards for Rantanen, and then when he tried to give it back to Harley, it was intercepted by Evander Kane. Harley played it well at the blue line, and Edmonton has to tag back up onside. As they do that, Rantanen finds Harley, went right around Klingberg, and then Kapanen came over to seal him off the puck. Jamie Benn tried to give it back to Harley, but the puck was in his feet. And here comes Leon Draisaitl, streaking up ice with Podkolzin. He beats one man, tried to nudge it, got it back from Podkolzin. Wallman across, shot, and a save made by goaltender Jake Ottinger. Klingberg fed Wallman, and Ottinger came up with a save. Jake Ottinger just continues to churn out 130 win season after another. He's 8-5 in this postseason. He's played almost all the minutes. Casey DeSmith mop-up duty in Game 4 of the Colorado series, but he's played to a save percentage of .919. The problem for Ottinger, as we talked about, is he has not been successful in Game 1s at home. Stuart Skinner's only victory in a road Game 1 was in this building last year.
And he was good. You win an overtime game against Jake Ottinger, you got to be good. Double overtime, including a huge 4-minute kill from Edmonton to start the first overtime period.
On a McDavid double minor. Skinner was brilliant in Game 6 when Edmonton sealed the series despite just 10 shots on net. That was last year. This is this year. Shot off the draw, taken by John Klingberg, sailed wide into the corner, and then a big hit by Hyman. He leveled Matt Duchene. Wallman dug it off the half wall, but Nugent Hopkins could not hold the zone, and Edmonton has to fall back to center. Fired back in by Klingberg, who of course was part of the Dallas club that went all the way to the 2020 Stanley Cup Final.
Checking a skate here on Zach Hyman, Jack.
Here's Duchene driving in from the right-hand side. He got belted in the corner by Wallman. Jason Robertson scored 35 goals during the regular season. Johnston in front, and his shot was deflected away. If that gets through, maybe it's Dallas 2, Edmonton 1, but it didn't. Here's Corey Perry. He was also on that Dallas team that went to the Stanley Cup Final 5 years ago. Janmark was hit hard and lost possession, and the Stars force it back to the Edmonton blue line as we come up on 2 minutes to play in the first period of Game 1 of this best-of-7 Western Conference Final. Florida took Game 1 of the East Final yesterday in Raleigh, North Carolina. Cody Ceci played the last 3 years for the Oilers. Here on a dump-in, he was belted, turned it over. Corey Perry tried a shot that was deflected off the side of the net, came in front, and Perry couldn't get there. Instead, it's snared and cleared by Sam Steele. Bouchard will settle it down at his own blue line and kick it over to Brett Kulak up the right-hand side. Twisted in deep by Janmark. Recovered by Thomas Harley behind his own net for Dallas. The outlet pass fumbled away by Marchment. Coming over to make a play on it is Stetcher. He'll trade it with Darnell Nurse and get it back. With 1:20 remaining, he tries the right-hand side for Kapanen. The pass broken up. Harley off the turnover. Had it stripped from behind by Leon Draisaitl. A terrific defensive play. He locates Podkolzin against Heiskanen. Gives it up. Nurse's shot. A high riser that sailed off the plexiglass. Draisaitl stuffed it inside. Podkolzin couldn't get a shot away. Here comes Granlund. The other way for Dallas, right to left. Spilled in by Rantanen with under a minute to go in this first period. Big, heavy forecheck laid on Rope Hintz, who tried to keep the puck alive in the high slot. Couldn't do it. Podkolzin out to Kapanen. And with Draisaitl already in the zone, he's got a tag back onside. Shovels it down low. Everyone changes for Edmonton for the final 40 seconds. Evander Kane determined to put the pressure on Ceci, and he forces a giveaway. Ceci a turnover. Kane tried to go cross ice and had it tipped out of play. Kane had a shot available, Bob. He tried the extra feed to Adam Henrique, and it was deflected into the crowd, and Cody Ceci just got bailed out.
Yep.
Well, that's why we bring you in, bud.
Yep. I mean, you got to shoot the puck. They got to shoot the puck.
Face off right side of Jake Ottinger. Oilers won. Stars won. Adam Henrique to take the face off, flanked by Kane and Brown. Wallman and Klingberg, your deep pairing for the final half minute. Shots are now 11-10 in favor of Edmonton. Shot clock's been adjusted a few times. One-timer by Kane off the draw, and Ottinger swept that out of play against Evander Kane, who has 23 goals in his 56-game Edmonton playoff career. You were talking about Hyman. Kane is right there in terms of the production. Now, he was shaken up. He was one of the guys that was not healthy in the Dallas series.
Yeah, did not have a point in the 6 games, went -3. Completely different player right now. Think about that. He's got 23 goals. He doesn't spend any time on the first unit power play. And he's got 23 goals in 56 games. It's pretty good.
Face-off win for Oscar Beck. Stars look up ice, forced up the middle, booted by Henrique back to Klingberg, and let's see how Edmonton elects to play in the final 15 seconds. Klingberg right-hand side for Connor Brown. They'll give him center ice as he shovels it in. Lindell settles it down and then lobs it back through the middle. A bouncing puck eludes Jamie Benn, tap back to center, and the period will end without further incident. And the Edmonton Oilers and Dallas Stars, as one may have predicted, find themselves tied at 1 after 1. Draisaitl opening the scoring as he rolled toward the net and beat Jake Ottinger inside the left goal post. And then Tyler Seguin, off a turnover by Draisaitl, went length of the ice and beat Stuart Skinner underneath the glove on a breakaway. So we've got a 1-1 tie, and we'll be shortly joined by Adam Henrique, a veteran who, like so many players on both sides, Bob, at the point of his career where the regular season means very little, it's all about this time of year, and we've certainly seen his play elevate over the last month and a half.
Yeah, there's no question. He's been a guy that's been able to really step up and had the huge performance with a couple of goals coming through for the Edmonton Oilers in a third-line role. Great job in the PK as well.
Rico, thanks for joining us after 20 minutes. One of the things I thought, and I wanted your thoughts on this, is Edmonton has not been great coming out of the gate after, some layovers this year. I think back to Four Nations, the end of the regular season. Was that a focus of your team preparing for this series against Dallas to make sure you started on time?
Yeah, absolutely. We had about a week off, and you want those rest days this time of year, but at the same time, when you're going, you want that momentum to be able to carry it over. So I think that's just a matter of the couple days before, making sure we have good high tempo practices, and then just make sure we're mentally locked in before tonight.
Well, speaking of locked in, they got a really good power play. That was a great first PK for you guys, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Again, another focus. That first one, the last couple rounds, hasn't been there, but tonight it was, and again, another key focus for us tonight.
Thanks, Adam. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
That's Adam Henrique, another guy that you gotta look at, a guy who was in the 2012 Stanley Cup final. He waits 12 years for another chance, and He was telling me this morning, he goes, look, I'll be honest, we've all been waiting for this time of year. It's hard to get up for game 50, game 60. This is the time of year you want to be ready.
I thought Edmonton was the better team in the first period, Jack. I mean, Dallas got a power play. They didn't make much happen. And really, it was a broken play that Dallas got their goal on. And Leon Draisaitl trying to work his way through two players on a ozone cycle. And Klingberg got caught activating down a little bit low. And Wallman wasn't across enough. And Tyler Seguin can skate. And suddenly, it just, puck went to the right place.
Floodgates opened.
But the thing about Dallas is they are quick strike on transition. We know that about Dallas. They're one of the best transition. That's a broken transition play. That's not a play out of a breakout from Dallas. That's a puck turned over. Just a confluence of events that gave them the break. The goal that Draisaitl scored was a fantastic goal off an ozone cycle. And Edmonton, by my count, the A-grade scoring opportunities in the first period were 6-3 for the Oilers.
Right. Rantanen hit a goal post. Hyman hit a post at the other end. And the one missed opportunity that was available was the 2-on-1, where Connor Brown looked like a shot was available. At the very least, you get a rebound chance for Janmark.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the Oilers haven't had a power play to work with, but Dallas didn't really put themselves. They know how good Edmonton's power play is. Well, the one thing is, their games have tended to be a little bit more penalized than some of the games Edmonton's been in. The Oilers, again, fans know the numbers. For 10 straight games until game 5 against Vegas. That was the first game, the 11th playoff game the Oilers played, where they had more power plays than the opposition.
And they had two.
It's not like they've had a lot to work with. So
that's why I wasn't worried really about the special teams coming into this series, because the sample size has been so small. As Rob Brown pointed out, both teams average taking 2 penalties a game.
And here's the other thing. If you're into these sort of things, the advanced analytics would suggest that the Oilers probably should have a couple more. They're 6 for 10 at home, 0 for 14 on the road on the power play. So they're 6 for 24 overall. They probably should have 2 more. Well, if they're 8 for 24, they're at 33% instead of 25. And the net power play for Edmonton and Dallas is roughly the same at 25%. As Dallas has given up a couple shorties and almost gave up another one.
So, with all that said, the West Final is about where we thought it'd be after 20 minutes.
Good period.
Dead even. This is a pick'em series. This is a pick'em opener. And it's Edmonton, Dallas, 2 veteran clubs who know how to win at this time of year. Draisaitl for the Oilers, Seguin for the Stars. It's all even after 20 minutes. When we come back, it's Brendan Escott. It's Rob Brown back at our flagship home of the Oilers Radio Network. It's 880 CHED. Live from the American Airlines Center, 18,000 plus crammed into this cavernous building to see these two heavyweights go at it. 1-1 after 1 on the Oilers Radio Network.
Our people, our teams. Recording resumed. Entering Rich American Samoa Voss button.
McDavid with 18 points, 1 behind Rantanen for the league lead in the playoffs.
Entering.
Meanwhile, Tyler Seguin able to come back off a Draisaitl turnover, scoring unassisted on a breakaway 5 minutes after the Draisaitl goal. And so we sit 1-1 after 1 with Draisaitl winning the opening faceoff. Kapanen will whack it in deep. But Colson in on the forecheck. Dallas able to recover and flip one through the middle. Kulak and Bouchard, the pairing to start the second period for the Edmonton Oilers. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with you high atop American Airlines Center in our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. The Oilers and Stars, game 1 of this Western Conference Final. Game 2 will be Friday night from this building, and then game 3, a Sunday matinee, 1 o'clock at Rogers Place.
Dallas's third pairing, Jack, both played basically 3 minutes or less. If they're going to play their top 4 that much, Edmonton has to soft chip, soft up pucks, get in and pound their top 4D.
And, of course, last year, Dallas played 5 defensemen virtually the entire postseason. And Miro Heiskanen, by the end of the Edmonton series, looked far older than the years that are actually on his body. He was playing about 30-35 minutes a night. A puck glanced off a man and out of play into the Edmonton bench. So that's an offensive zone face-off for the Oilers. McDavid will take it between Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. And McDavid wins that face-off. A blast by Klingberg is blocked. And the rebound by Hintz sent across to Mikhail Granlund. Into the corner for Mikko Rantanen. Been an eventful year for him. He really struggled in the regular season with Carolina and Dallas, but has found his groove in the playoffs. McDavid beats Harley down the right-hand side. Wrist shot, save, and a rebound. Set off the side of the net by Nugent Hopkins. The cage was open. Ottinger down and out after making the save on McDavid, and Nugent Hopkins slammed it off the outside. Brandon brings it back to the Edmonton line, stood up by Wallman, recovered by McDavid, and on to Jake Wallman. And McDavid has had a couple of electrifying rushes in tonight's game one. Connor Brown down the left-hand side will shovel it down low. Sagan to Heiskanen, turned over. Brown to Evander Kane, fired across. Adam Henrique guides it back to Darnell Nurse. A shot from distance, caught cleanly by Ottinger, despite traffic in front, generated by Brown and Kane, who at the whistle dropped Miro Heiskanen. Again, a towering presence in front of that Dallas net.
Well, Connor McDavid walked Thomas Harley, and Nugent Hopkins couldn't quite pick up the rebound cleanly, or he would have deposited in the net, and that's just a shot off the blocker.
Well, there you go, Bob. That's what you do on a 2-on-1.
And that's what we didn't see Connor Brown do on the 2-on-1 shorty. And the one with Brown and Janmark was a clean 2-on-1. This one was a little bit, they had some backside support coming.
But we've seen McDavid completely overwhelm Lindell and Harley with that attacking speed.
And I'm telling you right now, Leon Draisaitl, he's on a different level tonight than he was at any point during the Vegas series. He is moving out there. I know he was involved in the turnover and the goal, but he's had some dominating 5-on-5 shifts in this game.
Coming off a Rockard Richard performance, his trophy case adding one more to go along with his Ross and Lindsay. And Hart, of course, wristed down deep. And Skinner puts it behind his own net. Dallas goes to work on the forecheck. Lyubushkin and Bichel up top. A long-range shot by Bichel. Turned aside by Skinner. The rebound in the corner. Kept alive for a moment, and then Stetcher took it away off to Darnell Nurse. Flipped down the right-hand side, intended for Adam Henrique. Bodied up by Bichel, and now escaping is Lyubushkin. Hard rim up to Sagan on the right-hand side. Cross ice. Bichel skated right into it and forces it down low. Darnell Nurse, right-hand side for Stetcher, now backing off and locating Nurse with 2.5 minutes gone by in this second period. Edmonton won, Dallas won. Game one of a best-of-7. The Oilers beat the Stars in 6 last year. Third trip to the West Final in the last 4 years for Edmonton. Dallas, the first team since Chicago to advance to 3 straight West Finals. And now, unable to hold the zone was Oscar Beck. Kane made sure of a clear. Dallas carries it back in. Dadonov got it in deep. Kulak attempted to clear. Janmark down in a heap. Cut his teeth in this organization. Got to start his NHL career. His best offensive season came in Dallas. Centering pass from Beck picked off by Trent Frederick. And here come the Oilers right to left. Frederick forced out wide. He'll wind it along the boards for Evan Bouchard. Right in front of the Oiler bench. Slide step to his right. Pushes a wrist shot wide. Rebound going to be taken by Dadonov. Lugs it up to center. Tried to bump it down deep. Did not get it in deep. And Draisaitl will just execute a give and go with Bouchard and take over at center. Kulak left wing to Draisaitl. A quick shot off the rush and a save made by Ottinger, who's actually played Draisaitl and McDavid fairly well, Bob, even though Draisaitl beat him cleanly. He's faced some good chances from those two players. Bouchard unable to handle a pass up top right point and has to back off into his own end. 4 minutes gone by. In the second period, we're still tied at 1. Draisaitl a giveaway at the Dallas line, but then got it back from Matt Duchene. Shakes off a check, challenges Harley. Harley this time plays it exceptionally well, sealing Draisaitl off the puck and allowing Johnston playing center ice tonight to clear for Matt Duchene. He'll dump it in. Recovered by Podkolzin, who's going to be guilty of icing here. Inexplicably tried to go to open ice down the right-hand side where Nary Oiler was located. So the whistle goes with 4.5 having elapsed here in the second period. And it's an ozone draw for Dallas.
Well, another good opportunity for Leon as Kulak found it to him.
5-on-5. Edmonton forwards have outscored Dallas 27-17, and keep in mind the Stars have played 2 more games. That's in the playoffs. Off the draw, Rantanen back to Lindell. His shot wobbles high and wide. Rebound, Cody Ceci. Put it down low, Rantanen. Tried to center, that was deflected. And Podkolzin Podkolzin is able to launch it up the right-hand side. McDavid attacking. Brushed off his stick to Mikhail Granlund. Wires one ahead to Mikko Rantanen. And a check levied on him by John Klingberg. Skinner again came out to play it, turned it over, and a quick shot for the left backboards. Fought off by Skinner, who had hastily recovered and pressed himself up against the far post. Rantanen knocked off balance by Nugent Hopkins, who's able to backhand it over for Wallman. His pass fired down the middle and did not get touched by Hyman, so it's icing against the Oilers. 5 1/4 gone by in the second period. We are tied at 1 at the American Airlines Center in Dallas.
This pairing I've found with Wallman and Klingberg.
What have you found about it?
They have not been the smoothest pairing so far in this game.
McDavid lining up for a D-zone draw against Sam Steele. Steele won it cleanly. Back to Harley. He'll wind it along. Heiskanen trying to step up, flick it into the slot area. Sagan to Marchment. And when he tried to give it back to Harley, it was broken up. And Klingberg tried to pitchfork it out of the zone. Didn't get it accomplished. Second effort. Nudged it over to McDavid. He got crowded by Marchment, shrugged off the check, and then turned it over to Matt Duchene. McDavid got back in the play, and now we'll have a penalty called against Marchment, as that was a fairly obvious trip on Zach Hyman in the neutral zone. Hyman goes down, and Edmonton afforded its first power play of the hockey game. That power play, of course, brought to you by Atco.
Dallas, number 27, minor penalty.
Your trusted energy retailer. Learn more at atcoenergy.com. You heard the penalty to Marchment for a trip. Got that stick lodged in Hyman's skates. And now the Oilers, who, as Bob mentioned, still looking for their first power play on the road this postseason. Well, its opportunity arrives right now. A chance to break this 0-for-14 streak. The power play without McDavid and Draisaitl down the stretch slumped to a ranking outside the top 10. But still a power play that was in the 20s. It's not a power play that struggled that mightily, finishing the season just under 24%. Lead pass. Lindell unable to hit back, but still it's a length of the ice clear for the Stars, who shorthanded have been excellent all year long. Tied for 4th in the league in the regular season, and they've been even better in the postseason at 86%, third best. Here's Draisaitl to McDavid. Inside, Nugent Hopkins shoots and scores. Power play goal. Ryan Nugent Hopkins restores the lead for Edmonton. It's 2-1 in game 1.
Jack, at the availability yesterday, Connor McDavid, we talked about the fact the analytics would suggest the power play was better than the numbers were indicating, and he said, no, we have to be better. And there's a play, the Oilers gain zone entry, McDavid pops it back. I think Perry gets a stick on it. No, it does not go to Perry. Perry will not get an assist. Nugent Hopkins follows the play up. Of course, he scored a couple here in game 5, as you would recall.
One of Edmonton's best games in this era, and a game that Matt Duchene kept a puck from, Bob, because he felt like Dallas was flat in that game. And he's been staring at that puck all year long, waiting for a chance at redemption. Well, his club has fallen behind 2-1. Nugent Hopkins, his 4th of the playoffs for McDavid and Draisaitl at 6:08 on the power play. And what we tell you, small sample size. You can't get bogged down in power play numbers. Here's a turnover and a quick shot. And that was deflected just wide. Bouchard with a giveaway, and Dadonov could not thread it through traffic. Labushkin knocked it down at the point. His shot deflected high in the air, grabbed by Bouchard, who gives it away again. But this time there's support, and Darnell Nurse makes certain of a clear up to Evander Kane. And now the puck bounds out of play into about the 6th row here at American Airlines Center. 6.5 minutes have been played in the second period, and the Oilers have their second lead of game 2. It's Ryan Nugent Hopkins on the power play, beating Ottinger cleanly. Glove side. 2-1 Edmonton in game 1 of the West Final from Big D. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey and the Stanley Cup playoffs of the Oilers Radio Network. Well, the Oiler kids in oil country playoffs 50-50 now live. Main jackpot over $1 million. The playoff bonus jackpot over $4 million. And you can win playoff tickets and $10,000 cash when you get in on the early bird. Oilers 50-50 tonight, rifled by Kulak off a neutral zone draw from beyond the blue line. A save by Ottinger, who was just beaten by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins on a power play. The Atco power play giving the Oilers a 2-1 lead. Now a backhander Kulak from the right circle, and a save made by Jake Ottinger after Dallas made a jittery turnover in its own zone. And all of a sudden, the Oilers threaten to take territorial control of this game as Edmonton has outshot Dallas by the count of 6-2 in this second period and regained the lead in the process.
Well, unfortunately for Kulak, he couldn't pick that up cleanly on the toe of his stick and had to get it over to his backhand. If he shoots that on his forehand, he opens up Jake Ottinger and gives himself a much better look.
Kulak, 2 playoff goals in 87 career games in the postseason, was on the Montreal club with Corey Perry that went to the 21 final before being beaten by Tampa. The Oilers see Dallas muster a clear out of play into the Edmonton bench following that last puck drop, so we'll do it again with Draisaitl taking the ozone draw. Recent PGA champion and 2-time Masters winner Scotty Scheffler in attendance tonight here in Dallas, Texas.
Pretty good golfer, isn't he?
He won that PGA. I mean, I stopped watching. That tournament was over. Won by 5. It could have been 8. Haskin up the gut, picked off by Jake Wallman. Up the right-hand side, Klingberg, and he'll send it back to Leon Draisaitl as the Oilers build speed through the neutral zone. Draisaitl to his left, but Colson gave it away. And now quickly swept up ice by Wyatt Johnson. That's going to be played by Stuart Skinner. Takes it into the trapezoid, and that time much smoother, getting it to Wallman up the left-hand side and spun back to center by Draisaitl. Kasperi Kapanen, the Game 5 overtime hero, put Colson ahead. Circles the Dallas net, kicks it out to Bouchard. Back down low to Draisaitl, who has a goal and an assist tonight. Bouchard loading up, shooting left circle and scoring inside the right post. It's 3-1 Edmonton. Evan Bouchard, who had 7 points in the series last year, extends the Oiler lead to 2 with his 5th of the playoffs.
Well, Kapanen told him right away, I did not get a piece of that shot. It just beat Jake Ottinger high to the glove side. Absolute rocket from Evan Bouchard. He is the 2nd highest scoring defenseman in NHL history in points per game, and he showed why. Elite finish from Evan Bouchard.
Set up by Draisaitl. 3rd point of the night for Leon Draisaitl. And the Edmonton Oilers have taken command of this game. It's now 3-1 off the draw. Puck loose at center. Lobbed in and settled by Esa Lindell. Chipped up the left-hand side, and the Oilers able to stymie the Dallas attack right there. And then Hintz got absolutely pulverized from behind by Bouchard and did not like it. Kulak entangled with Rantanen behind the Edmonton net. Rantanen hit a post in the first period, but has been quiet here in the second. McDavid the breakout to Bouchard. Gets it back. Carries hard toward the Dallas net. McDavid on his backhand. Chips it out. Shot Nurse off the post. Ottinger needed that break. Nurse beat him cleanly again to the glove side, and it whistled off the goalpost. And Edmonton by an eyelash, still in front, only 3-1. A dump in by Dallas. Nurse whipped around the boards, and ultimately Nugent-Hopkins.
Wow.
Through the middle, picked off by Lyubushkin. 1 touch on. Here's Dadonov. Lead pass out of the reach of Oscar Beck. Nugent-Hopkins, by the way, with an assist on that Bouchard goal. So you've got Nugent-Hopkins and Draisaitl with multiple point second periods. Brought down low, wrapped around by Dadonov, easy save by Skinner, flipped in by Nugent-Hopkins, and caught and held by Jake Ottinger with 10:43 to play in this second period.
Scott Sherry broke up a possible 3-on-1 for Edmonton. He got in the way of his Nugent-Hopkins stretch pass up the right side to Connor McDavid. Would have been an odd man break with time and space. Michelle having a conversation here with Trent Frederick.
So 2 goals in 100 seconds for Edmonton has broken open game 1 of this West Final. It's 3-1 for the Oilers. Dallas coached by Pete DeBoer, who has lost 5 of the last 6 Western Conference Finals.
He gets there.
He's also been to 2 Stanley Cup Finals and lost both of those.
Generally regarded top 5 coach in the NHL, Jack.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just pointing out some facts for you.
Yep.
Broken up by Wallman. Chris Knobloch, meanwhile, 23-13 in his Oiler career as a head coach in the Stanley Cup playoffs, including 16-2 in the back half of series. In games 1 through 3, the Oilers have been slow out of the gates. Just 7 wins and 11 defeats. But looking sharp here in game 1. Steal off a neutral zone turnover. Wrist shot off the rush. Caught cleanly by Skinner with no rebound. 10:09 to play in the second period. And the score remains 3-1 for Edmonton. For Dallas, just its 4th shot of the period at the midway point.
Mason Marchman gave it a little bit of a stick there to the Oilers. Trent Frederick. He's a agitator that blossomed into a player. And you know the story. Brad Hull no longer works for the Edmonton Oilers, but I remember him telling me about 2 weeks before Marchman popped in Florida that this guy was going to take off. And he's become a very good top 6 NHL forward. And he had a tremendous run in Florida and then got himself signed by the Stars.
22 and 23 goals his last 2 years, but just 1 in the postseason. As Dallas's offense has dried up, particularly 5-on-5 in the Stanley Cup playoffs, making their wins over Colorado and Winnipeg that much more impressive. Adam Henrique is offside, left wing on a stretch play, and they're going to bring the face-off back inside the Edmonton line, which will negate a potential break here. Now they're going to call for timeout. That was interesting. That pass was released from inside the Oiler blue line. They'll whistle it down for offside. And when we come back, the Dallas Stars will have an offensive zone face-off. But Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Evan Bouchard have scored a minute 40 apart. And Edmonton has grabbed a 3-1 lead in game 1 of the West Final. Live from Dallas, Texas, on the Oilers Radio Network. Now, Bob, was that you on background vocals there?
No, it was not. But I'll tell you, in a supporting role in the last goal was Vasily Podkolzin, much like the game winner in overtime. Did a great job.
I thought he might get an assist on the play initially. And Bob's referring to the goal by Evan Bouchard that has put Edmonton out in front, 3-1, midway point of the hockey game. Game 1 of this best-of-7, game 2 Friday night back here in Dallas. The Oilers in the white uniforms with a 3-1 lead. Draisaitl, a goal and 2 assists. And right now, as we speak, Draisaitl, Rantanen, and McDavid in a 3-way tie atop the Stanley Cup playoff scoring list. All 3 players now 19 points. McDavid and Draisaitl in 2 fewer games. Here's Kane. Missing Darnell Nurse. Dallas taps it back in. Rantanen tried to center off the glove of Skinner. Waved at by Draisaitl, but not out of the zone. Here's Lindell. Wrapping it around the boards, Cody Ceci steps up. Behind the net for Rantanen. Ceci wears the number 44 in Dallas. He wore 5 as a member of the Oilers.
Oilers got to support Darnell here. They got a good forecheck going.
Nurse did not get out. Rope hints from behind the net. Out to Ceci. Looks for a lane. It's not there. Kane is on him. Ceci wraps it around the boards for Rantanen. Makes a move on Kulak. Takes it behind the net. Ceci tried to slither his way down low, but couldn't get a shot away. And now Draisaitl has the puck, and he'll challenge Esa Lindell. Kapanen is with him. Draisaitl wanted to feel Lindell, absorbs the check, kicks it out to Stetcher, a drive, and that pinballed off a body in front. I believe that was Nugent-Hopkins cutting in front of Jake Ottinger, but the puck stayed out. Ceci up to Rantanen, and he'll punch it forward back into the Oilers zone. Stetcher knows a man was bearing down on him, so he'll send it wisely around the boards to Nugent-Hopkins, whose outlet pass was broken up. A big hit at center ice. Zach Hyman absolutely flattened Jason Robertson, who's been invisible thus far tonight. And the reason I say that is Robertson is Dallas' second leading scorer, and with 35 goals led the team this year. Here's McDavid barreling down the right-hand side. Harley played it well, forced it to the corner, and now you've got Sagan, who is able to shovel back towards center. Klingberg will knock it down. Woolman up the left-hand side, sends it back in. Ottinger leaves it for Hurley. Up the left-hand side, another big hit Edmonton trying to impose some physical will against Dallas. Frederick against Jamie Benn, who won the battle for the Stars, and it's flipped back into the Oilers zone. Wallman across, and John Klingberg, who feels better every day, he told me. The hips firing on all cylinders, and a puck elevated up and out of play on a stretch pass that was ticketed for the high slot. We'll have a neutral zone faceoff upcoming. 7:17 to go in the second period. Edmonton 3, Dallas 1. I have to say this, Bob. Thus far, the Oilers not only have been more physical, I think they look quicker.
I think what Hyman did in the last shift, where he got in and belted Thomas Harley, that's what Edmonton's got to do, because if they're going to play the top four as much as they're playing, the Oilers
are pounding them.
This is a war of attrition in a playoff series.
And it paid off last year. Dallas had the early lead in that series and couldn't hold it. Edmonton fought its way back, won the final 3 games of the series, which is, as we just talked about, been a hallmark of Chris Knobloch and the Oilers in the second half of playoff series in recent vintage. Right-hand side, Lyubushkin angled one off the boards. Edmonton in its own zone, turned over by Bouchard. Sloppy giveaway, but he got bailed out by Brett Kulak. On his backhand, he'll send it up the boards. Good seal out by Draisaitl to create for Frederick, who's got Podkolzin with him. Frederick looking. Bouchard wanted to tee up a one-timer. Frederick couldn't get it to him. And off a double team, Dallas attempts to clear. Knocked down by a leaping Bouchard. Here's Draisaitl dragged to the middle. And his shot pushed just wide. Draisaitl tried to position himself for a better shot opportunity, and Dallas fortunate to duck out of that scoring chance. Icing call against Dallas. And we were at break a few minutes ago, Bob. You said the score is Edmonton 3, Dallas 1, but you confessed to me the margin could actually be significantly wider.
Well, Leon Draisaitl tonight is the best player on the ice. He has not looked this good all playoffs. That little break obviously helped him, and it's allowed the Oilers, other than one shift in this game, which Edmonton scored on, to keep McDavid and Draisaitl on different lines.
And again, Draisaitl has factored in all 3 Edmonton goals, a goal and 2 helpers. Nugent-Hopkins has a goal and an assist in this second period. And Edmonton has taken command at 3-1. Oilers with a puck in the neutral zone. Darnell Nurse. Edmonton moving right to left in period 2. Wyatt Johnston battling, forcing the puck free with Dadonov. They'll bring it into the offensive zone. Robertson trying to follow it up. It's Dadonov. Off the boards, Robertson tried to backhand it in front, and that was broken up and cleared. Hyman, who cleared the puck, again takes a hard run at Thomas Harley and drilled him. Harley took the hit to make the play up to Dadonov. And now you've got Johnston, who overran the puck and paid for it dearly as Nurse smoked him. Now Johnston wanted to thunder back into Nurse, but Nurse had released the puck by then and located Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
Oilers need to change here. Got to get the puck up the ice.
Smart play by Nugent-Hopkins to get it up to Corey Perry, but Perry didn't feel like he had a dump in available, so he plays it back to Brett Kulak, who dances behind his own net, and now he can break the puck out. Kulak up through center. We got a penalty coming against Dallas. Skinner's heading off here, and the Oilers already leading 3-1. Will go to a power play.
It's like an interference call, Jack. Harley cross-checked one of the Oilers up the ice. And they called him on interference. That's a tough call.
Time of the penalty, 14:49, second period. And a disgusted Thomas Harley will trudge to the box. The Oilers looking to spread game one out a bit further. It's been Nugent-Hopkins and Bouchard here in the second period. Game 1 of the West Final. Edmonton 3, Dallas 1. Oilers power play next. This is Ford Dealers, NHL Hockey, and the Stanley Cup Playoffs. The Oilers Radio Network. Oilers looking to make it 5 consecutive wins on the road in the playoffs for the first time since 1990. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Keep in mind, Edmonton's halfway home. Long way to go. Oilers in game 1 with a 3-1 lead over Dallas. Draisaitl on won the face-off of the power play. Beaten by Sam Steele and ripped up the left-hand side by Esa Lindell. This is a power play for the Oilers. They scored on their previous opportunity in this second period. Nugent Hopkins buried one glove side on Jake Ottinger, and he's out there with McDavid, Bouchard, Draisaitl, and Zach Hyman. Here's McDavid, backhander off the rush, and a save made by Ottinger, who covers up with 4:47 to go in this second period. Corey Perry has come on now to be the fifth man on this Oilers Atco power play unit, which just got its first goal on the road in 15 tries earlier in this frame.
Another good look, and Connor almost squeezed that through the 5-hole, and Jake Ottinger,
he's been buzzing.
Yeah, and Draisaitl's been terrific.
Goal and 2 assists for Draisaitl. Goal and an assist for Nugent Hopkins. 2 assists for Connor McDavid. The usual suspects at work in the opener here at the American Airlines Center. Off the draw, it squirts outside the zone. Bouchard will have to reload at his own blue line. He'll kick it back to Connor McDavid. Working his way through the neutral zone up the right-hand side. He'll leave it for Draisaitl. Top of the circle. Now McDavid from the corner. Out to Bouchard, walking the line. Gets it back from Nugent Hopkins. Bouchard on his backhand. Nugent Hopkins. Bouchard. This time across to McDavid. Top of the right circle. Feathers the one inside. And Draisaitl couldn't get the shot away. Short-handed. Comes Rope Hintz and rather conservatively elects to just dump it in the corner. 4 minutes to play, second period. Halfway through this Atco power play. Draisaitl, right to left, gains the line, drops it off. Looking for room is Corey Perry against Lindell. Fires it around the boards for Connor McDavid. Absorbs the hit from Sam Steele, but then coughs it up. And a clear by Dallas back to center. That's good work by Steele on the PK. Bouchard locates McDavid. Nudged ahead for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Steele all over. Forces it back to Bouchard. Wide open. Shooting is Draisaitl. And Ottinger might have gotten a piece of that as it flew high and wide. And then unable to be held in the zone by Nugent-Hopkins. Edmonton has to fall back. McDavid trying to catch Lindell on his back foot. Nugent-Hopkins maintain the zone from the slot. Drops it off. Slipping momentarily is Wallman against Beck. Struggled to keep it alive. Didn't do it. Lindell had a chance to clear it. Went off Beck's backside. And then Wallman with a giveaway at the blue line. Here comes Dallas to the net. And Harley, fresh out of the box, unable to get a shot away down the right wing boards. Enrique put it up the left-hand side for Kane. Hyman finishes his check on Heiskanen. Worked up the left-hand side. Rantanen got a piece. He was not at center. They'll generously give Dallas that one. That could have been an icing call. Instead, Klingberg wrapped up in the corner. Rantanen pries it loose for Wyatt Johnston. Klingberg got it back a second time. This time, Hyman makes sure to protect the puck, kick it back to Klingberg, and the Dallas pressure is alleviated. 2.5 to go. Granlund pursuing Klingberg. Up to Evander Kane, who'll cut to his right and pitchfork it in deep. Bischel back to grab it for Dallas. Heiskanen took a healthy pop up the right-hand side. Adam Henrique able to settle it down, force it back down low. Bischel and Kane still going at it. Those two really working one another over. Bischel all over Kane. Crowd loves it. Janmark had his stick lifted, and Dallas able to punch it back through center. Darnell Nurse wristed it down deep for the Oilers as we go inside 2 minutes to play in the second period. Edmonton has not trailed in this game and leads the opener 3-1. Marchment, a wrist shot from the top of the right circle, fielded flawlessly by Skinner, who will put it away for his 15th save of the night and keep Edmonton's 2-goal lead intact.
Draisaitl going to come out and take a D-zone draw here, help the Oilers out.
Did you enjoy that back and forth with Bischel and Kane? It's what Stanley Cup playoff hockey all about.
Bischel's a massive man. He's 6'7". Kane is a physical force and clearly at a different level, Jack, than he was a year ago at this time.
Well, he's fresh, rested, ready to go. Doesn't have the mileage on him that all these players have. Draisaitl burrowed in, won the face-off from Tyler Seguin. Oilers, Connor Brown got bottled up by Matt Duchene. Wherewithal to recover and get it to Darnell Nurse, and now Leon Draisaitl will lift it back through center. Draisaitl, a goal and 2 assists tonight. Janmark took advantage of a friendly bounce, driving to the net, and tipped in front and off of Ottinger by Heiskanen, who dove desperately to break up the centering pass from Janmark. Duchesne gathers and forces it inside the Edmonton line. Skinner wandered out to play it, able to nudge it away from Duchesne. Brown went down in a heap in the corner, and Kulak couldn't clear. Ceci turns and delivers a pass to Harley. His shot right in front. Marchment, wrister, and that was blocked. Darnell Nurse saved a goal. Penalty coming against Edmonton. 2 minutes for hooking with 1:02 to play in the second period. But at live speed, Bob, it certainly seemed to me like Darnell Nurse might have just saved a goal.
He saved a goal, but the Oilers, both times that they've had some problems in this game, have been a result of puck possession in the O zone or in the D zone. Their D, and unfortunately Connor Brown wiped out in the corner, where Edmonton had an easy transition out, and now they'll have to kill. Second power play of the game for Dallas. The Oilers are 1 for 2. The Stars are 0 for 1.
Nurse sold out, robbed Tyler Seguin of what would be his second goal
of the game. That's a tough call. I mean, Kulak, sometimes you get away with that. I didn't like the call, by the way, against Harley. Didn't think that was a penalty either, just so you know.
Off the face-off, shoveled out by Adam Henrique. Penalty kill brought to you by our friends at Napa Auto Parts. And a quick change. Actually, Adam Henrique, there was some confusion. He eventually changes, and now Janmark's out there with Nugent Hopkins. Wyatt Johnston will give it up across the line. Not much of a shot from Duchesne. That's because his stick exploded. The puck fluttered into the corner, and Evan Bouchard will escape with ease and clear down the right-hand side as Matt Duchesne, furious with his stick.
Bouchard replacing Wallman on the PKs really helped out Edmonton's penalty kill.
25 seconds to go in the second period. Right now, it's Nurse and Stetcher out there on the PK, and Stetcher comes up with a loose puck. Dallas can't get set up. Stetcher clears, and that likely will be it for the second period. We're down to 10 seconds. Harley really has to hurry. With the Stars down 3-1, Tyler Seguin trying to get a shot away. Forced out wide. Centering pass wound up in the pads of Stuart Skinner as Mikhail Granlund was well covered in front. We've got 1.1 seconds left in this second period, and Edmonton seemingly will head to the final 20 minutes with a 2-goal lead and a chance to win Game 1 in Dallas for the second consecutive year. Break up the Oilers all of a sudden in Game 1s, Bob. It's been a problem for the Oilers, but they're threatening to win for the 4th time in their last 7 series openers.
Need a clean face-off win for Henrique here, not give up a shot in the final second and a half this period.
Adam Henrique. Tie up with Granlund. You can score this late in the period, and Sagan set up for a one-timer in case Marchment can win this face-off cleanly. He can't. Henrique won it, and Nurse will skate out the remainder of the second period as the Oilers head to the dressing room, having played a solid second period and turning a 1-1 tie into a 3-1 lead. Nugent Hopkins with a power play goal at 6:08, and then 100 seconds later, Evan Bouchard converts his 5th of the postseason. Draisaitl's factored in all 3 Edmonton goals tonight. Nugent Hopkins with a goal and an assist. Connor McDavid has 2 apples. And most importantly, from an Edmonton perspective, the Oilers with a 3-1 lead heading to the final period, Game 1 in Dallas.
Well, we know there's going to be a push coming from Dallas, and it's going to start with the fact that they're going to have about a minute to work with on the power play. So the Oilers need an effective kill out of the break here. Dallas is giving Edmonton chances off transition, and I am with you, Jack. The Oilers look like the quicker, faster team right now. Maybe we shouldn't be that surprised. The Stars minus 73 collectively through 2 rounds of the playoffs.
Every forward has been outscored 5-on-5 in their lineup coming into this series.
So maybe we shouldn't be that, because last year, of course, it was Dallas outscoring Edmonton at even strength. The numbers again, 14-12.
Right, and then on the special teams, 5-0 for Edmonton.
And that was was the big difference in the series.
Dallas has been outscored in every period. Both teams are 3-0 in overtime. The Stars have advanced to the conference final, despite being outscored in every single period.
But we know this about Dallas in this building. They're going to push. I mean, Jake Ottinger's 15-2 in his last 17 games in this arena. So we know that they're going to push here in the third period.
But he has a problem when? In game one.
Game one. Well, the Oilers are going to get some chances to counter-strike up by 2. That's why if you can kill the first minute, and then they got to trade chances because they're chasing by 2, you're going to get your opportunities and get a chance to finish them if you do.
Well, you just said the first minute might dictate how the rest of the period goes. Dallas will be on the power play with a fresh sheet of ice for that first minute, and the Stars will be looking to whittle the 2-goal deficit they've incurred through 40 minutes as Edmonton looks to keep it going. Remember, the Oilers arrive at this conference final having won 8 of their last 9, and in playoff competition, that really magnifies the kind of heater that Edmonton has been on. It's 3-1 Oilers through 2 periods. Next up, you'll hear from Brendan Escott and Rob Brown. 40 minutes completed at the American Airlines Center, and the Oilers looking to duplicate what they did last year, and that's pull game 1 out of Big D. This is the West Final at Ford Dealers NHL Hockey. The Oilers radio says they've got a 3-1 advantage heading to the final 20 minutes. They'll be shorthanded for the first 59 seconds. I must caution those Edmonton partisans out there, however, that Dallas has just as many wins when trailing after 2 periods in the Stanley Cup playoffs as Edmonton. They've got 3, and Bob, we know one thing about both of these clubs. We know the series isn't over until they're shaking hands.
Yeah, no, there's 100% on that. I mean, Dallas is as well run of an organization as you'll see in the National Hockey League.
And they're like Edmonton. They're desperate because they've been around it, but they haven't won it.
Now, that said, Jim Nill comes from a Detroit organization, and Ken Holland's modus operandi was you got to be around it to have a chance to win it.
And both of these teams have been around it. Oilers making their 3rd trip to the Western Conference Final in the last 4 years. Dallas 3 consecutive years. First team since the Blackhawks from 2013 to 2015 to do that in the West. Sagan wins the faceoff. He's been the only man to beat Stuart Skinner tonight. And he probably would have beaten him again were it not for Darnell Nurse in the final minute of that second period. The Oilers make a play on a dump-in, and it's a length of the ice clear by Jake Wallman, killing penalties.
Killing penalties, did a great job there. Used his speed to get back and got the puck up the ice and out.
Granlund on the stretch play, left wing for Mason Marchment. Dallas moving right to left in the 3rd period. Heiskanen gets it back from Granlund. He'll shoot and score. Skinner appeared never to see it. Dallas right back in the game, a power play goal. And for Miro Heiskanen, that's his first goal since coming back. He was injured January 28th in a game against Vegas. That's his first goal since returning, his 4th game back.
I'm sorry, but Matthias Janmark has to get a piece of that puck. Otherwise, he's just a screen on the play, and that's what happened. And even the look and the read between Connor Brown and Miro, in between Connor Brown and Matthias Janmark, I think that Brown thought Heiskanen was...
Might have been tipped at the very end, Bob. Let's watch this again.
Marchment was the net front.
I think it went off an Oiler. There was a little tip.
It doesn't matter. That play has...
I know what you're saying.
Got to get a sticker.
There was a little ricochet at the very end. Lead pass, Zach Hyman, right-hand side. Might have glanced off an Oiler. Here's McDavid looking to answer. Gives it up. Backhander denied. Leon Draisaitl set up by McDavid down low, but repelled by Ottinger. Here's Mikael Granlund forcing it up ice for Mikko Rantanen. He'll leave it for Granlund behind the net. Kulak looking to seal his man off. McDavid out to Leon Draisaitl. Fires a lead pass, looking for Hyman. Too far. They're going to wave off icing, however. And the puck returned by Lindell to Cody Ceci. Drilled it up the right-hand boards, and that'll be settled back in his own end by Klingberg. He'll, in turn, move it up to Vander Kane. Swatted off his stick immediately. Lead pass, Jamie Benn. Granlund and Marchment, meanwhile, with the assists on the power play goal scored by Miro Heiskanen. Adam Henrique pinned in his own zone. Evander Kane forced it up the right-hand side. And now we've got a whistle, and it's an offside against Edmonton. 32 seconds time of the power play goal, and Dallas has cut it to 3-2 with an eternity to play. 18:05 left in regulation.
Worst case scenario for Edmonton there. Got to find a way to get a body in front of that. I mean, in the playoffs, everybody blocks shots, everybody fronts pucks. You got to eat some. And Heiskanen made the right play, put it to the net, but Mattias Janmark almost kind of flamingoed his way out of that, Jack. We'll see how he responds. He's on the ice right now.
Lead pass for Robertson is an errant one, and now Dallas guilty of an icing call, so Edmonton gifted an offensive zone faceoff coming up. Miro Heiskanen, a tireless performer, but again, one who hadn't scored a goal since January the 9th. He missed the final 32 games of the regular season. The entire first-round series against Colorado, which Dallas survived in 7, and then parachuted into the Winnipeg series in Game 4.
Given they didn't have Heiskanen and they didn't have Robertson, the fact that they beat Colorado is unreal. And they rallied from 2-0 down in Game 7.
In the third period.
Yeah, like Draisaitl, he almost scored. He has been all over the offense. He's just been brilliant in this hockey game.
He's playing with Podkolzin and Perry right now. Yeah. Off the face-off, wound around. Robertson punched it out towards center, swatted in deep by Rantanen, carried back up ice, and it's Podkolzin who dumps it in from center. Harley back together. It had his pocket picked. Excellent steal by Corey Perry. Then he gave it right back to Harley. But Podkolzin was there to free it up for Perry, who arrives in time for Podkolzin, nudged in front off the pads of Ottinger. Slap shot. Wallman hit his own man. Hit Podkolzin.
That ate him. What's the
that one bit of?
We got a penalty on Edmonton.
Yeah, it's against Edmonton. Podkolzin's hurt. He goes to the Oiler bench. Penalty on the Oilers. Robertson back to Matt Duchene. Up the right-hand side, Mason Marchment. Right wing, centering pass. Ran in a shot denied by Stuart Skinner.
What's the call
and
here?
The Oilers' 3-2 lead will be tested. It's a power play coming for the Dallas Stars, who just converted a power play to pull within 3-2. Francis Chiron will give you the call.
Edmonton, number 90, minor penalty, ice sticking.
High sticking against Corey Perry. Right in front. He got Sam Steele.
And
he earned it.
Yeah, that's a world-class clear-out from Corey Perry. You're going to get called on that every time. So now a huge kill.
Dallas, like Edmonton, 1 for 2 on the power play in this game.
Got to stay out of the box. It's an ozone draw.
Sagan wins the face-off. Thomas Harley moves it back to the right half boards for Jason Robertson. Tried to turn one inside for Sagan. Intercepted by Henrique and slashed down the ice.
See how Brown and Janmark do out here together after being on the ice for that goal against on the PK.
There's Kulak. And as Bob indicated, Brown and Janmark round out the Napa Auto Parts penalty killing foursome. In from the right-hand side is Sagan. Robertson in close quarters. Sagan trying to pass back to the point, intercepted by Janmark. Maybe a late developing 3-on-2, but what a huge hit by Marchment on Connor Brown. He flattened him. Stars come thundering back up ice right to left. Robertson lugs it across the line, gives it up. Sagan a shot, and that was tipped wide. Rebound kept alive for Robertson by Marchment. Robertson hesitated. Marchment to the middle of the ice, kicked out to Heiskanen, loading up. Shooting is Granlund, and that went off the post. It was waved off. And now they're calling it a goal. The official immediately waved it off, Francis Chiron, and now they're saying this game is tied. Bob, did you see what I did?
I thought it was a goal. Initially,
Chiron waved it off.
I saw Chiron wave it off. There was no question the official waved it off. We're going to have to get a second look at this. But the Dallas reaction on the play,
it's a goal.
You called it.
But Chiron waved it off immediately. Granlund buried it through Stuart Skinner over the left shoulder.
What did they have to do, Jack? They had to stand on the box, and they didn't stand on the box. Unforced error led to the power play that carried into the third period, and now we're tied in a game that Edmonton's been infinitely better 5-on-5. I was with you. I saw Sharon wave it off. I was like, wow, Edmonton caught a break. They didn't.
Granlund, his 5th power play goal for the Stars, and an offside whistled against Edmonton coming over the line following that faceoff. So back-to-back power play goals, and Edmonton's 3-1 lead erased in less than 4 minutes. We talked about the importance of a kill to start the period. The Oilers didn't get it. Perry for high sticking, and Granlund ties it. And now we've got a brand new Game 1 of the West Final.
And Granlund's a streaky scorer, as you know, Jack.
Had a hat trick to beat Winnipeg in Game 4. But coming into this game, he had only 1 goal in all the other games. Similarly, Rantanen has 17 points in 5 games, Bob, but just 2 in the other 9. Heiskanen and Sagan with the assists on the power play goal that ties the game. Off the draw, John Klingberg handling the puck in his own zone for Edmonton. At the red, he'll hit the line. Ship it looking for McDavid. That was broken up. And tossed up the left-hand side by Heiskanen. Here's Zach Hyman. Breaking away from Granlund and then leaving it. Turned it over, in fact. Hintz put it up on the glass. Evander Kane up to the point. Rantanen to Hintz. Slid across. Redirected off a Harley from Granlund. And that rocketed out of play with 5 minutes gone by in this third period. And you said it earlier, Bob. This crowd can get engaged and involved. And the 2 goals in 4 minutes has certainly resuscitated their energy.
The Oilers were up 3-1. They blew. Connor Brown in defensive support blew a wheel in the corner. The puck hit him and they didn't get it out. Then they created the opportunity where Nurse pulled a goal out of that. Kulak took the penalty in that sequence. And they come out and Janmark does in front of puck. 3-2 power play goal and then a bomb, a rocket from Granlund. Edmonton needs to respond, Jack.
Face-off win for Nugent Hopkins. Lobbed up ice by Bouchard. And now Evander Kane tries to burrow his way inside. But that's going to be offside as well against Edmonton. And the crowd really getting on Stuart Skinner. The shots are just about even at this point. Edmonton now with just a slim 22-20 advantage. At one point in this game, it was 18-11.
Got to keep playing. Worst case scenario, Jack.
Sagan wins the face-off in the neutral zone. Angled up the left-hand side for Marchment. Bouchard was there. Ceci to Duchesne. And then flicked ahead by Marchment. That appeared to go on the Oiler bench and is whistled down with 5.5 minutes having elapsed in this third period. Heiskanen and Granlund, as again the Finnish presence can't be ignored on this Dallas Hockey Club. Whoa. They've loaded up the Finns on the top line, and Heiskanen with a goal and an assist in this third period.
Problem is they got another Finn and he hasn't factored yet, and he's gonna.
Mikko Rantanen does not have a point in tonight's game. We told you he gets hot. And when he gets hot, you can see absolute magic happen. A natural hat trick to put away Colorado in Game 7. Here's Cody Ceci. In from the right-hand side. He'll wind it along for Harley. Put it back down low. You've got Sagan. Tried to chip it in front. Duchesne got high stick by Kane.
This is unreal.
Another careless stick infraction by Edmonton. Duchesne threw his head back and got the call. 3 consecutive power plays for Dallas, and 2 of which have been converted.
And now, is it a 2 or 4, Jack? Here's the call.
Edmonton, number 91, minor penalty for high sticking.
Just a 2. Stars fans on their feet, crowd in a frenzy as Edmonton's 2-goal lead gone. And again, I mean, it's right in front of the official. There's not much to argue about.
Stand on the box.
So the Oilers send out Nugent Hopkins, Henrique, Nurse, and Stetcher to kill this one. It's brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. But Dallas has converted the last two. We told you they've had a goal in all 8 home games on the power play this postseason.
They need to stop here from Skinner.
Heiskanen to Duchesne. Back to Heiskanen. One-timer, and that was fought off by Skinner. Oh, Duchesne hit his own man and then scored! Matt Duchesne's first goal of the playoffs gives Dallas its first lead of Game 1, 4-3. 3 consecutive power play goals for the Stars in a span of less than 6 minutes. Matt Duchesne coming into this game had scored exactly 2 goals in 32 games in the postseason as a member of the Dallas Stars. And that one, Bob, he hit his own man, Rope Hintz, with Skinner down and out.
I mean, he should have scored on the first shot, and then did it get a piece of Nugent Hopkins, who was low in support after Stetcher fell. Oh, man. Well, we said they needed a kill. They didn't get it. Oilers are going to have to dig in now. It's an unbelievable turn of events.
Edmonton's 3-1 lead is evaporated. Dallas has its first lead of the hockey game. Stars with a puck. Jason Robertson off the draw will shovel it in off the backhand side. Brett Kulak looking left wing for Leon Draisaitl. Draisaitl tried to force it up to McDavid. It was broken up. Tossed inadvertently out of play by Sam Steele. The faceoff will remain in the Edmonton zone with 13:37 to go in the third. It's a crescendo here inside American Airlines Center. Stuart Skinner being serenaded, and not from a positive standpoint if you're an Edmonton fan. The Oilers' 3-1 lead is gone. Dallas, with 3 consecutive power play goals, has a 4-3 advantage in Game 1 of the West Final. The Oilers Radio Network.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing: taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's 2 things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Pizza 73, the official pizza of your Edmonton Oilers. Loyal to the oil, in Edmonton we trust. Rising to the top like a pizza crust. Got the flavors to play, yeah. Cooking on ice. Hunger happens, gotta score a slice. Let's go Oilers, E-Town unite. Ice District to Jasper, downtown to White. We're in orange and blue. Game on the street. Make the right call. Pizza 73. Let's go. 737373. Pizza 73.
Steel Haas Triton, 2 legendary oilfield services brands, 1 powerful partnership. Rooted in innovation, reliability, and a steadfast commitment to excellence, Steel Haas is proudly 100% Canadian-owned and locally manufactured. With over 15 field service locations across the prairies and up to the Rockies, they deliver world-class energy solutions with unmatched responsiveness, helping their customers thrive in the most demanding environments. Steel Haas Triton, engineered for performance, built in Canada. Visit steelhaasinc.com for more information.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing: taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's 2 things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app. This is the Oilers Radio Network.
4-3, Garth Brooks reverberating throughout American Airlines Center as the Stars fans in a celebratory mood. But just as we told you at the onset of the period when Edmonton led 3-1, there's a lot of time left, 13 and a half to go. Dallas erases the Oiler lead in a span of 5 minutes and 26 seconds. All 3 goals on the power play. Evander Kane into the offensive zone left wing. His shot deflected up over top. It looks like they're going to go McDavid, Draisaitl the rest of the way, Bob. Kane is with Nugent Hopkins on this line. And it's forced out by Dadonov. So right now you've got Nugent Hopkins centering Kane and Hyman. And usually when we see that look, we know McDavid and Draisaitl are going to get a 5-on-5 shift together. And trailing in the third period, Chris Knoblauch may go that route for the remainder. The Stars up the right-hand side, settled by Wollman. Advanced through to Zach Hyman. Draisaitl with a goal and 2 assists, helping Edmonton gain a 3-1 lead. Klingberg with a giveaway. Marchment up the right-hand side. Sagan gives way to Duchesne, heading for the net. Duchesne unable to get a shot away. Then threw it in front. Open man. Sagan fires, and that was fought off by Skinner. Rebound Sagan again, trying to hunt down a puck, but Hyman won a puck battle, and here we go. McDavid and Draisaitl in from the right-hand side. Well defended. Lindell on McDavid. Duchesne the other way. Shot Marchment, and a save made by Stuart Skinner. Rebound Ceci. Dallas feeling it right now. Klingberg to Wollman. The Oilers have to weather the storm a little bit here. Perry, as power play is rolled over to momentum 5-on-5. Perry reunited with McDavid and Draisaitl on a heart line. Lead pass, you've got Lindell. Looking left side, Rope hints. Wrist shot forced wide by Bouchard. Corey Perry on the puck finds Evan Bouchard. Lead pass on target. Connor McDavid looking to tie it up against Bischel, and he slid one wide. Rebound. Draisaitl showing shot. 2 Stars collapse on him. Out to Darnell Nurse. Evan Bouchard back to Draisaitl. Couldn't get around Heiskanen. Brilliant defensive play. Heiskanen muscling Draisaitl off the puck. Hits Bischel ahead of the field. Open man. Oh, it's off the stick, and then Bischel denied on the doorstep by Stuart Skinner. A broken play, and Bischel wound up with a puck 10 feet in front of Stuart Skinner. Hintz sealed by Draisaitl. Nurse blasted by Bischel. McDavid at the end of his shift. Lead pass. He finds Kasperi Kapanen in on net. Kapanen spins, backhands one wide. Bouchard has drawn a penalty. Call will be whistled against Bischel with 11 minutes to go. The play in the meantime continues. Lead pass Skinner up to Kapanen. Curled back to the point by Janmark. Bouchard across. Kulak to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Steps up from the right circle. Kicks it back. Kulak across. Bouchard looking for a shot lane. It's not there. Kapanen. This is all a delayed penalty right now. Kapanen to Bouchard. Shot. Tip just wide. Rebound Kapanen. Back to the point. Podkolzin will let it go through to Kulak. To Bouchard and poke free, but kept alive. A shot! Lines up just wide of Jake Ottinger. Glove side. Rebound Nugent-Hopkins. Twists it back to Bouchard. 10:20 remaining. This power play has been in effect now 6-on-5 for almost a minute. Podkolzin. Nugent-Hopkins. Kulak. Shot off a man. Swatted out of midair by Kapanen and on net, and a save made by Jake Ottinger, and now we'll have the whistle. Finally, the Oilers 6-on-5 there for a full minute with a penalty going against Bischel, and after that extended minute of defending 6-on-5, the Stars will now be 5-on-4. Hooking Bischel, and the Oilers 1 for 2 on the power play can tie it up right here.
Don't forget, Jack, Edmonton had a 3-1 lead and got a power play and did not score. And the way it's going right now, Edmonton has to score on the power play. Because right now it doesn't look like Edmonton can stop Dallas when they get their power play opportunities. Stars have flipped the script here in the third period. They're 3 for 4 in the game. They're 3 for 3 in this period on the power play. Edmonton needs equalizer right here, right now.
Stars on the kill. We told you coming in. Bettered only by Carolina and Florida thus far in the Stanley Cup playoffs. But they were touched for a goal earlier in this hockey game. Scored by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who's out there with McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman, the net front presence, replacing Perry. Bouchard at the point. 10:06 to play in the third period. The Oilers' 3-1 lead is given way to a 4-3 deficit.
Steele's done a good job to start these PKs for Dallas against Draisaitl.
Face off to Ottinger's right. Tie up off the draw. Lindell comes up with a puck, and it's the length of the ice clear. You called it, partner. Sam Steele borrowing in on Leon Draisaitl. The Oilers have to retreat. Bouchard, pressure up ice from Oscar Beck. Dallas, a penalty kill unit that resembles LA's. Here's McDavid and Draisaitl trading it on the right-hand side. Saucer back down low to McDavid. Now Bouchard up top in the high slot. McDavid rolls up top of the circles, around Beck, looking, dealing, and that went off the skate of Sam Steele. Now it's McDavid, backhanding it down low for Hyman, using a screen from Draisaitl, who returns the puck back to Bouchard at the point. Over to McDavid, stutter step on Steele, puck comes free. Ceci off the glass, did not get it out. It went out of play, and Ceci's inability to get it down on the ice gives Edmonton new life in an offensive zone faceoff, as Perry will replace Hyman here with still 1:11 to go on the Atco power play. Atco, your trusted energy retailer.
Wyatt Johnston comes in to take the draw. In the playoffs, he's at 48%. This is a Leon advantage, you would think.
It came off the side of the net following the draw. Hard rim by Lindell, and that escaped Bouchard. And the Oilers forced into full retreat halfway through the power play. Still 9 minutes left in regulation. Dallas 4, Edmonton 3. This is game 1 of the Western Conference Final. Game 2 looming Friday night back in this building, the American Airlines Center. 18,500 plus. Here's Nugent Hopkins guiding one over to Leon Draisaitl. Offensive zone right half boards. Nugent Hopkins to Bouchard, walking the line. McDavid left circle in front, looking for Perry, broken up by Ceci. But McDavid able to recover, then turned it over. And Wyatt Johnston will rifle it down. And that'll do it for Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, and Draisaitl. They head to the bench still. 20 seconds on the power play. Skinner got confused and threw it into the corner. Steele able to pester and drain more time off the clock. Adam Henrique finally able to recover. Get it ahead for Evander Kane. 10 seconds on the power play. Corey Perry gave it back to Kane to the middle of the ice. Henrique drops it off. Shot Klingberg, and that was blocked. Rebound back off the boards and out. Dallas has killed it off. Back to 5-on-5. Klingberg dances around Jamie Benn. He'll hit the line. Wrist shot. Fought off by goaltender Jake Ottinger. That one appeared to handcuff him a bit.
That was a good shot by Klingberg. Boy, he put that one in a real good spot. Look out.
Klingberg rink wide, and that was tipped over the plexi and out of play into about the 6th row here. And unfortunately, I think caught a fan who will try to shake that one off. Luckily, it was tipped and took some of the steam off that puck. 7:45 to go in the third period. Edmonton's 3-1 lead is given way to a 4-3 deficit. The Stars trying to close it out on home ice. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey and Game 1 of the West Final. The Oilers Radio Network.
Mark recording. Pause button. Mark pause button.
Recording Network. Game 1, a lot of power play firepower. Edmonton threatened to take over control of the game. Had some chances to extend its lead at 3-1. Failed to do it, and then Dallas ran off 3 unanswered power play goals here to begin the third period. And Edmonton's lead not only was gone, but gave way to a deficit inside of 6 minutes. Off the draw in the neutral zone, Ceci up the right-hand side. Marchment's offside, and he'll chest up with Darnell Nurse, and they two will jaw at one another. 7:39 to go in the third. No quarter given in that altercation between Marchment and Nurse. 4-3 Dallas. The go-ahead goal scored by Matt Duchene, his first of the entire postseason. Talked this morning about how he felt like he was playing good hockey, not getting rewarded for it. He shot one off the backside of his teammate Rope Hintz. It came back to him, and he was able to muscle home the go-ahead goal.
Well, Dallas got to another gear on their power play, but Edmonton aided it and abetted them, Jack. There's no other way to say it.
Duchene up the right-hand side. A couple of careless high-sticking infractions, and now nudged into the Edmonton zone. You've got Sagan against Podkolzin. Marchment in close quarters. Back to Sagan, operating behind the Edmonton net. Centering pass, and that's split. Duchene and Thomas Harley. Jake Ottinger out to handle the puck, gives way to Harley. Dallas looking to break a 7-game losing streak in home openers in the postseason. Here's Skinner. Ooh. Off a dump in, handling that puck, and Duchene was close by. Shoveled it freely to Darnell Nurse. Tried to get it in deep. Knocked down by Heiskanen, who effortlessly clears up the right-hand side. Kapanen rink wide to Bouchard. Hit McDavid square in the shin pad. And now you've got Rantanen coming the other way. Has just the 1 assist tonight and fumbled the puck away in the corner. They call him the Moose. Lead pass McDavid out there with Draisaitl and Hyman. Chris Knobloch going to McDavid and Draisaitl together 5-on-5 with a team trailing. Here's Hyman walking in. Left circle, a shot and a save made by Ottinger. Rebound Lindell. Flipped it off the glass. Well handled by Wallman at the line. McDavid. One-timer. Draisaitl save made by Ottinger. And Edmonton's top line has Dallas in desperate trouble. Hintz will pin McDavid against the half boards. Booted free for Wallman. A shot that was tipped harmlessly into the corner. Dallas first to locate. It's Heiskanen. And Rantanen jams it off the boards and back inside the Edmonton line.
Hintz got away with working over McDavid. Back in the neutral ice.
A draining shift for both clubs. The Oilers appear exhausted as they change with 5:45 to go in the third period. 4-3 Dallas. Here's Connor Brown darting down the left-hand side. CC back defensively. Brown tried to put it between his legs. Wasn't happening. Jamie Benn 3-on-2 with Johnston. Right circle, wrist shot, missed the net. Rebound came wide. Dodonov held the zone for now. Johnston and Ben pouring it on in the offensive zone. Nugent Hopkins played it well, got it to Stetcher, and here come the Oilers. Evander Kane left wing. Stetcher activating on the play down the middle. Created an opportunity and a backhander lifted high and wide by Brown. That was all Stetcher. And now Nurse. Stetcher calling for the puck. Feeling it maybe. A shot along the ice. Steered to the corner by Ottinger. And Edmonton's second line turning on the momentum. Kane in front. Tipped away at the last moment for Nugent Hopkins. Then tried a sharp angle shot. That was broken up by Ceci. Ben is tired. Got it to Wyatt Johnston. A soft wedge inside the Oiler blue line. Stetcher able to catch up to it. Oilers will roll over the lines, though. Bob, that's 2 good shifts in a row. We'll see whether Dallas is drained a bit here. Here's Kulak. Smooth skating up the right-hand side for Corey Perry. Hard behind the net. Dishes off. Poked away for a moment. Now wide open Frederick, and he flubbed it. Off the heel of his stick. He was wide open in the slot. And Dallas gets away with one. Lead pass too far for Steele. That's icing against Dallas with 4:18 to go in the third period. And that means an offensive zone draw for Edmonton's top players as McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman come over the ice. Bob, if this top unit scores here, it'll be because of the momentum that they started, but then was backed up with 2 good shifts in a row.
What a chance for Trent Frederick, and he just couldn't pick it up cleanly. High slot, and he fanned on it. You wonder maybe if he hadn't been out for so long with that high ankle sprain, if he's feeling a little bit more offensively.
Draisaitl against Steele. And let's see here. It's going to stay with Steele and Draisaitl. Face off to Ottinger's right, 4:18 to go. Steele again does a good job on the draw, Bob. You picked up on that, and you're bang on. Steele with another good work on the face-off circle. Robertson at center had it pried loose by Hyman, but well played at the line by Lindell. And here come the Stars. Steele with Sagan heading for the net. Steele, backhander, score! 5-3. Sam Steele, a massive goal in Winnipeg in Game 6. And let's see whether Sagan got a piece of this.
So Sam Steele's represented by Jerry Johansson, and he was fighting to get this guy a job a couple years ago, and all he's done is earn himself a new contract with Dallas. He's in the 3-hole at center. I mean, he had a huge season in junior. Always had some offensive instincts. That's just a great goal.
I think Sagan got a piece. I think Sagan tips this one in, Bob. What do you think?
Bouchard, he might have, judging by Sagan's reaction, I'm probably going to lean your way on that one and think he got a piece of it deflected at home. Certainly looks like that's the case. What a play by Steele. O'Jack, and it starts with the O-zone or D-zone face-off win. Dallas a 4-goal third here.
And a 5-3 lead. There's still ample time remaining. And now off the draw, the Stars look for more. And it was flipped over the net by Marchment. Down the right-hand side, Sagan to Marchment. Across the CC. His shot. tipped, deflected up and out of play. We should mention Calvin Pickard is not on the trip.
Right.
He will not be available until the back half of this series, so Olivier Rodrigue is backing up. Sam Steele cutting to the net, and Tyler Sagan with a heck of a tip over the left shoulder of Stuart Skinner to make sure Dallas takes a 5-3 lead. 3:41 to play. We'll come back to American Airlines with a finish of Game 1 of the Oilers Radio Network.
Score big with the unmatched purity of Clearwater Vodka, the perfect companion for Oilers Network.
Coming into this Western Conference final, the Edmonton Oilers had outscored their opposition 14-4 in the last 8 games in the third period. Not tonight. Stars have outscored the Oilers 4-0, and they've turned a 3-1 deficit into a 5-3 lead. We'll keep an eye on Stuart Skinner. McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman are out there. It's McDavid pouring across the line. Skinner to the bench. McDavid flips it over to Draisaitl. The extra attacker is Corey Perry. Dallas pressure on the puck against Draisaitl, forcing it free. Long wrist shot. Bullseye. Esa Lindell.
That's how it goes some night, Josh. That's just how it goes. Oilers hit 2 posts in a game. They hit a post at 3-1. Darnell Nurse hits a post and they don't score on the ensuing power play they get. And Dallas has completely flipped this game with 5 unanswered goals in the third period.
Lindell's first of the postseason is a 165-foot empty netter at 16:45. And the Stars, those 5 unanswered goals have come in 16 minutes.
Think of the chance that Frederick had, high slot, 4-3 game before the power play that Edmonton got.
Adam Henrique wins the faceoff out there with Podkolzin and Frederick. Oilers dump it in. Podkolzin finishes his check. Skinner remains in the pipes. Dallas cleared up the right-hand side. They're waving off icing emphatically, so Skinner forced to play it. Locates Troy Stetcher. 2 minutes, 55 seconds to go in the hockey game. Ceci off a dump-in. Will backhand it over to Thomas Harley. The Stars trailed 3-1 entering the third period. They were on a power play to start the third. They scored, and that triggered an absolute outburst. 3 goals in less than 6 minutes, and then 2 more inside of a minute to put it away. Here's Dodonov wheeling his way into the offensive zone. Tried to center, deflected. Steele to Lyubushkin. His shot. And a save made by Stuart Skinner. The rebound cleared by Adam Henrique. Connor Brown up the left-hand side. Kane was pounded. Into the corner. Centering pass in front for Kane. Set up by Brown. Broken up by Marchment. And Dallas able to angle one up the right-hand side. Kane touched the puck before the Oilers tag back up and will be whistled for an offside with 2:04 to go in this hockey game. 6-3, a stunning turnaround for an Edmonton club that not only had been on a roll in terms of winning 8 of 9, but had dominated the back half of games, Bob.
Jack, we said at the end of the second period they had to get out of the PK to start the third. They didn't.
And a lot of the talk coming in to this series was about special teams, but more focused on the Edmonton power play. Yeah. Instead, it's the penalty kill. Look at the power plays in this game. The Oilers 1 of 3. That's fine. But the penalty kill is only 1 of 4. That's not fine. Jake Wallman enters the zone left wing. Hits Klingberg. Backdoor play. Broken up. And Bichel able to twist it safely back through the neutral zone. If the Oilers scored there, they would have gone right back to McDavid and Draisaitl with 90 seconds to go and maybe pull Stuart Skinner. But now Skinner stays in there. Lead pass left wing. It's the Janmark centering pass. That goes awry. Picked up by Robertson, who got an assist earlier in this period for just his second point in 7 games since coming back from injury. Stetcher backing his way in is Trent Frederick. And it's wedged back the other way by Lindell.
Why is that not icing? It's not.
I think it would have died before the goal line.
They're just trying to get this game over with right now.
There's 50 seconds. Troy Stetcher fired one up the middle, broken up by Beck, taken by Steele. He'll try to skate his way out of danger. Turned over. Kapanen right wing shot off the pads of Ottinger. Rebound Beck. Chesting up against Nurse with 30 seconds to play. Dallas looking for one potential final clear here, and then the clock will kind of run off as Nurse will shoot it in. Ottinger out to handle the puck, threw a grenade to Lyubushkin. His shot ends up on Henrique's stick, flipped one wide, rebound wound around to Stetcher, back to Nurse, left point shot, missed the net, high up on the plexi, cleared by Steele, and that'll be all. Beck hit one more time by Stetcher. They didn't like it, and this one ready to explode. Lyubushkin did not like that extra hit, and now you've got a wrestling match. No meaningful blows exchanged. That was Lyubushkin sticking up for what he felt was a late hit by Stetcher. Beck and Stetcher are wrapped up on the ice. Lyubushkin quickly separated by Podkolzin. Nurse was briefly engaged. The streamers have come down.
They win the Stanley Cup.
Vishal and Perry, meantime, were wrapped up with one another. And
hey, they won a game one.
Yes, exactly. We saw what happened when LA posed following a game one victory in the first round for a group photo. The streamers come down. The Stars could celebrate a game one victory, which is something they could not do last year. Edmonton won that game one in overtime. Tonight, the Oilers appeared poised for victory, but Dallas with 5 unanswered goals in the third period, and the Stars will take a 1-0 lead in this best of 7 with game 2 Friday night back here at the American Airlines
Edmonton
Center.
needs more for more. I mean, this was the night where their big dogs were going, McDavid and Draisaitl, and that's what's disappointing. They got him to a 3-1 lead, and Leon was the best player in the ice through the first 2 periods. Got to get a kill. Who has to be your best penalty killer? Your goaltender, who was very good in the 2 previous games. Now, on the second goal of the game, the first Dallas power play goal of the third period, I think Janmark's got to front the puck there. He doesn't get in front of it, and Stuart Skinner couldn't track it and find it. Way too easy of a goal. Then the 3-3 goal, a rip job. Wallman is there. The only place that they can beat Wallman is up high, and it was a rocket from Granlund. Now it's a 3-3 game. The 4-3 power play, it's just everything started getting funneled to the net, and the Oilers couldn't do anything about it. And Nugent Hopkins, unfortunately, down the Oilers caught a break. Duchesne hit one of the Dallas players in the back of his ass, and then they turn around and bank it in off of Nugent Hopkins. And
Can you say in the back of his ass? Isn't that kind of the same thing?
Yeah. Well, in my case, it's a bass. So anyways, that's when your back runs into your ass. And now they're up 4-3, right? Their power play's cooking. It's 3 for 4, and they completely flipped the momentum in this hockey game. The Edmonton Oilers squandered the opening game of the series.
Yeah, you don't like to give that one.
You don't like. Now, they didn't get a lot from some of their other players. This has been. Now we're going to go back to Edmonton having an older team. Some of their older guys were a little quiet out of the gate here. They were. They needed more from Janmark and Brown. Okay, and I know Connor Brown's been dealing with a minor lower body issue. They needed more from Janmark and Brown. They were on the ice for 2 of the 3 goals, at least on the PK. They needed more from those guys. They didn't get, Henrique did a good job on some face-offs, but they lost a draw that led to the 4th goal, the 3rd power play goal. Boom, it's in the net. Edmonton had a lot go wrong in this hockey game in the 3rd period. We're going to remember this one for a long time. Now, the question is...
You only remember it if you lose the series.
Right. You can bounce back, but there's a lesson in this. Think of the penalties. It's a 3-1 game.
Yeah, high sticking. You got to control your own stick.
Connor Brown blows a wheel in the defensive. The Oilers have puck possession. They're trying to complete a line change. Brown blows a wheel. Now Edmonton's under duress. They get a scoring chance out of it. They get bailed out by a great shot block from Nurse, but Kulak's got to take a penalty. Okay, that puts them on the power play. The Oilers get out of the period 3-1, but they can't kill at the start. Then the Perry penalty cannot happen. Cannot happen in a 3-2 game when you're on the lead. Not 185 feet away from the goal. Cannot happen. I didn't like the stuff at the end of the game. I'm fine with that. That's all gamesmanship and everything. But the Oilers squandered this game, and it has to be a learning lesson for Edmonton.
Well, again, you look at the special teams tonight. Edmonton 1 of 3, Dallas 3 for 4. Without the empty netter, it's a 2-goal game. It was decided by special teams
100%.
tonight.
100%. And they
not in the way that a lot of people thought. A lot of people worried about the Edmonton power play. It was the penalty kill that got away from the Oilers tonight, as well as some ill-timed penalties. With the game under control at 3-1, you got to close that out. And the Oilers denied a 5th consecutive victory on the road. That would have been their 9th out of 10, and in total command of the game, but they let one get away. And, that's why they play 7 games. This is not unfamiliar territory for the Edmonton Oilers. You take a look at their history in Game 1, and it's not great. They're now 4-12 in 16 Game 1s in this McDavid, Draisaitl, Nurse, Nugent-Hopkins regime. Moving forward into Game 2, Bob, the Oilers did make some changes to their lineup after losing Game 3 against Vegas. They made 2 substitutions. Do you see any reason to think we might have a personnel change or two for Game 2 against Dallas?
I'm going to assume that Ekholm is not ready to play yet. So let's start there.
He did